It's the Pink Room, women's college basketball, all day, every day. I'm Roz gold-onwude, he's Kevin Dana. Katie, drop some knowledge.
Well, we have reached the top 5 of our top 15 countdown. 1 through 5, we're going up this time with 1 and 2, then a little piece on Delaware's Delle Donne, and then 3 through 5. But first, 1 and 2 are playing each other this weekend. Ross, what's good?
Number 1 Baylor takes on number 2 UConn this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And let's say you had to scout these two teams. Well, at some point, you'd have to look at the stat sheet. Reading a stat sheet varies from person to person, but here's a few things to note. Where's the action coming from? Well, Brittany Griner takes the most shots on this team at 147, Odyssey Sims second at 118. But interestingly enough, the person taking the third most shots is Brooklyn Pope with 95, almost 100 shots coming from someone who only plays 18.2 minutes. She's taken almost twice as many shots as the rest of this team. So what that means is she's coming in looking to have some immediate impact. Got to worry about anything from three-point line? Yeah. I'd say Odyssey Sims, 37% from three-point line. That's a good percentage. Everybody else? Brooklyn Pope shooting 41% from the free throw line, so you know who you can foul at the end of the game. Rebounding, you got to watch out for Brittany Griner. You got to watch out for Brooklyn Pope and Destiny Williams, but you really got to keep Pope off of the offensive boards because she is crashing. Odyssey Sims is equally as important to this team as Brittany Griner. She has 72 assists. She's got her hands in a lot of this team's offense to 30 turnovers, so she's doing so frequently and accurately. And on the defensive end, she has 43 steals, That's crazy. Even crazier, Brittany Griner's block total. This total of 49 is comparable to what teams have altogether. Let's look at what their team is doing pretty well. All right. Defensively, most importantly, they are holding teams to 29% field goal and 24% 3% field goal. Then you move down and you look at what they're doing on the boards, out-rebounding teams by 14, 2 more than UConn. And this is a big stat. The game's going to be played at Baylor. They're averaging about 8,000 fans. Well, they'll have 10,000, a capacity crowd, cheering against UConn on Sunday. When you look at UConn's starting lineup, you realize that it never changes. You know exactly who's starting the game. But then you look at who's taking the most shots for this team and who's averaging 26 minutes per game for this team, and you realize she's not in the starting lineup. It's actually the freshman, Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis, who's shooting a great percentage from the field and from the three-point line. And 64 of her 116 shots, more than 50% of her shots are coming from the three-point line. So you have to be aware of her three, but also the rest of UConn, because as a unit, they're shooting 37% from the three-point line, and that's very good. As a team, they average 8 made threes per game. That's nearly twice as many made threes as any other team in the top 5, excluding Stanford. Looking at their free throws, you can't really foul them. They all shoot a pretty good percentage from the free throw line. But a good stat to look at is who takes the most free throws for a team, and for UConn, that's Tiffany Hayes with 36. Putting that into perspective, that's nearly half as many free throws as Odyssey Sims has taken. Still a good stat to look at because the player who takes the most free throws is the one that's typically getting to the basket the most. UConn's rebounding, it's done by committee, so you have to do your work and box them all out. UConn plays a very pesky defense, and leading the way for steals for UConn is Kelly Farris. I like her. She is all in the passing lanes and all up in offensive players' shorts, playing very aggressive defense. For UConn, you look at their team, they're much like Baylor. They're frustrating teams defensively, holding them below 30% from the field, below 22% from the three-point line. And they're also like Baylor because they like to pass the ball, 21 assists. They differentiate themselves because they turn the ball over a bit less, and they force more turnovers out of their opponents. There you have it. This is how you would use a stat sheet to create your scout.
It's a shame you don't get to see Delaware play much this season, or at all for that matter, because they don't play in a BCS conference. But let me tell you what, this team is undefeated this year, ranked 21st in the AP poll, and have already knocked off a couple of BCS schools, including Penn State, who was ranked 11th at the time. What's the big reason for their success this year? Well, the big 6'5" player, the hometown hero that took the long and winding road just to play 20 miles away from her house. Who am I talking about? Of course, it's Elena Delle Donne, one of the most highly touted players ever coming out of high school, named the female LeBron James after scoring more than 2,800 points in her high school career, which was a Delaware State record. Realizing a childhood dream, getting to play for Gino Auriemma at UConn. Or so that's what she thought, signing with the Huskies. 48 hours after getting to Stores in August of 2008, she says, you know what, Gino, I'm burnt out from basketball. I gotta stop, I gotta go home. Turns out she was just homesick. Hard to knock her when you have a sister that is deaf and blind. And the only way to communicate with her is being with her in the flesh. So can't take anything away from her on that front. Plays volleyball her first year at Delaware. The result, the middle blocker, all-CAA rookie team. Shows you what kind of athlete she is. But in June of 2009, she announces to the world, yo, I'm going to be playing for Tina Martin on that hoop court for the Fightin' Blue Hens. The result, 26 PPG her first 2 seasons. 29 and 10 this year, averaging a double-double. And in grand thanks to her, the Fightin' Blue Hens are going to be dancing come March for the first time in a few years.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne's dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne's dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne's dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne's dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne's dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne dropping double-doubles.
Don't doubt that Delaware's Elena Delle Donne dropping double-doubles. Loser. Let's talk about team number 3 now, the bronze team in the top 15. It's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Only one loss this year that came to Baylor. Can't really knock them for that. But the Fighting Irish have knocked off Duke in a 15-point come-from-behind victory in the Junkanoo Jam. Also destroyed Purdue by 28 points in West Lafayette. Their in-state rivals going down. Notre Dame, the key for Muffin McGraw and company this year, their consistency in that starting 5, Ross. All 5 players that have started in one game have started in 10. So that has been very big for them. And 4 of them have been starters from years past. Well, I'm talking about Natalie Novosel. She gets buckets. And then Brittany Mallory, that dogged defender that could also take you from beyond the arc, spot up, and drain some trays. And then Deb Peters down low doing work, getting me some boards. Wait, that leaves one more player. Who am I missing?
This is tough.
Oh, wait, it's Sky Diggins. Yeah, only leading the team in points and assists, and is only one of the faces of women's college basketball. Roz, you know what she does when she gets on the court?
Tell me about it.
She go cry. 17 points per game, and what she does better than anybody is pull up, stop, and pop from 12 and transition. Her mid-range game is nice.
Nobody pulls up like Skylar Diggins. That's what really separates her.
And that is athleticism at its finest. If this team can shore up its rebounding like it did against Purdue, the sky is the limit for this team. Get it? Sky? Limit?
I got it, Katie.
Alright, who's number 4?
Friend to the room, Stanford University.
Yeah.
Head coach Tara Vanderveer in her 26th season, and she's coming off of a huge summer. She was just inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Props for that.
Super props, Tara. Proud of you. So now this Stanford team has been picked to finish in the Pac-12, number 1, no big surprise, and they're led by the sisters, the Ogwumike sisters. Quick shout out to all the Nigerian hoopers out there. I see y'all. All right, so Nneka Ogwumike leads the way. She's super athletic, strong, can jump out the gym. She really has great footwork, can face up, take you to the rack, and also, if you try to sag off, she can hit the mid-range jump shot. She's also a leader for this team and kind of the resident grandma in the starting lineup.
Oh, hey, don't disrespect her age like that,
I'm
Ross.
just saying she's the only senior in Stanford's lineup. It's a young starting lineup. 2 sophomores,
True.
2 freshmen. From the sophomores, it's her little sister, Chineye Ogwumike, who's averaging a double-double, plays very well around the rim, and plays well with her sister. High-low action all day. You also have Toni Kokenis, who is the guard option, You kind of knew she was going to play.
Yeah.
But you just didn't know if it was going to happen at the 1 or the 2. The big question was what was going to happen with the other spots, and people wondered, was Tara going to go big? Was she going to go small? And it looks like Tara decided to go young, because she's got 2 freshmen there. Taylor Greenfield can shoot the ball. She can play the 2, 3, or 4. She's big. She plays defense, and she doesn't make a lot of mistakes. She's very smart. Then you have Jasmine Camp, who came in. She's got the emotional intangibles to be very successful at this level. She came in against UConn off the bench, 14 points, and ever since then she's been in the lineup. Stanford has a number of options. Bonnie the Bomber Samuelson.
Pop a shot.
For real, she'll shoot the 3 and make it. And they got Lindy LaRock, they got Jocelyn Tinkle, a number of options that they could play. And I think the biggest challenge for Stanford will be just finding a starting lineup that works and giving them the time they need to mesh and get comfortable as the season goes on. Huge game coming up against Tennessee at home, December 20th.
Dazzle and I are going to be all over that one. Well, that leaves us with one more team, and it's number 5, the Maryland Terrapins, who are undefeated this year. And if some jabroni walked into Brenda Free's office, say I went in there and said, "Hey, Coach Freeze, who have you beaten this year? I mean, everyone else in the top 5 is playing each other. I mean, we got Baylor, UConn this weekend. We got Stanford, Tennessee on Tuesday." She might say something like, "Oh boy, you must not know about us." And that's no endorsement of Beyonce. But for real, she might say, "Kevin, come on. Top 50 strength of schedule is what we got. That's better than Miami, mind you. And they played Rutgers and Tennessee already. We played some teams. Georgetown, Michigan, Towson's number 17 in RPI. I mean, we have the strength of schedule to boot. And when I got players on my team like Alyssa Thomas leading the team in scoring, 16 per game, when I got Tiana Hawkins averaging a double-double for me, and then someone from New York that Roz is very fond of, when Angela Barrett.
New York stand up. Hi, Barrett family.
Hey, the East Coast is the East Coast.
Whoa.
I said that one wrong, but hey, West Coast is the best coast. You already know. It's okay. We won't hold it against her that she's from New York. Anyways, Maryland, a very solid team this year. And hey, I know that UConn's had that recent success with multiple national championships recently, but before that, Maryland won it in 2006. This is a team that was picked to finish 3rd in the ACC, but they are the highest ranked team in the AC Sizzle right now. Shout out to the Terrapins. Alright, well, that's our show. Thank you very much for getting through the top 15 with us. Check out our Twitters at Rosgo, 21, at Kevo, 408, and of course the collective Twitter at PinkRoomWBB. You'll see our email at the end of this show. Thanks for tuning in. We out of here.